Welcome back, Gun Gunners family. Arsenal receive huge injury boost as Mikel Arteta master plan becomes clearer. Mikel Arteta gave his Gunners squad 2 days off following their dramatic late win over Wolves last Saturday night. The title-chasing players returned to their London Colney base to take part in an open training session on Tuesday. But Zubimendi was not part of the first-team group, sparking concerns that he was in injury doubt heading into the crunch clash with Everton this Saturday. However, Football.London understands that there are no injury concerns regarding the midfielder, and Arteta and his coaching staff are keen to manage his workload. Chelsea suffer huge suspension blow for potential crunch Arsenal match. Why Victor Gyökeres will miss out on any Arsenal title success for frustrated Mikel Arteta. The Spain international worked away from the main group, with the Arsenal hierarchy wary that this will be Zubimendi's first season without a winter break. The 26-year-old has only previously played in La Liga with Real Sociedad and has been a huge success following his £60 million move in the summer. Arteta is keen to protect his player, given the amount of football he has already played this season. Only Declan Rice and David Raya have played more minutes in the Premier League this season. Zubimendi has started every match in the top flight, as well as getting the nod in first 11 in 5 of the club's 6 Champions League fixtures. He missed the clash with Slavia Prague due to suspension. The Gunners have a relentless run of fixtures coming up, with the trip to Everton kicking off 7 matches in 22 days. Ahead of that clash with Everton, Bukayo Saka said the Premier League title leaders must reset. Arsenal played 7 times in 21 days, but will get a week off before facing Everton at the Hill Dickinson Stadium on Saturday. "It's been a really busy schedule," said Saka. "Credit to all the boys and the staff, because we've been so intense, but we've been on it and we've had some amazing results." Arsenal no longer title favorites as Man City move to the front of the queue for 2 reasons. Tom Canton and John Cross discuss whether Arsenal are still the Premier League title favorites on this week's Seeing Red Arsenal podcast. The big talk of the week for Arsenal come in the fallout of the Gunners' narrow victory over Wolverhampton Wanderers on Saturday evening. 2 own goals were the difference from Mikel Arteta's side, who needed a near-solo performance from Bukayo Saka to get them the vital 3 points. It has led to discussions as to where the Gunners stand in the title race after Manchester City swept aside Crystal Palace. Our Seeing Red podcast hosts Tom Canton and John Cross were at the 2 games respectively last weekend, and in their latest episode of the show, discussed why Crossy's favorite for the title has shifted following this week of action. "I do think my favorites at this point would have to be City on current form. I mean, listen, it always makes me laugh about the supercomputer. If the supercomputer was so super, then it wouldn't be allowed to change its prediction from one week to the next based on results, because it would know, you know? And so I'd be happy to be kind of proved wrong, but I feel that there's an ominous feeling about City and the way that they are playing. They're not great defensively. One of the reasons why Palace's XG was greater, because I think it was over 3, wasn't it? Which, bearing in mind they didn't take any of those chances, is really quite surprising based on their kind of performances and results this season. And it was because they were able to get so behind City's defense so many times. That is an issue for City, clearly. It was a mixture of Palace's poor finishing, some decent saves from Donnarumma, and then Diaz also being on his game. But I do think that would be a worry for City, and it's clearly their Achilles heel. Despite all of these weaknesses, however, that are present, there is one particular reason why Cross believes that City have the edge over Arsenal. The Gunners simply do not have a machine of a player at their disposal like Pep Guardiola does. The difference, and why I like City at the moment as a team, is that Haaland is the best player of all 3 title challengers in my view, and he is so deadly and is so lethal, is so ruthless in his finishing, that sets him apart. I also think that Phil Foden is back to the form season before last. There's always this talk about when English players do well, you lot in the media favor the English and stuff like that. He was amazing the season before last. He was poor last season. I'm sure he'd be the first to admit that for various reasons, but it feels like he's back this season. And then Ryan Cherki, I think, is a good signing. He's a good player. And I think it's not a classic City team, but I think that 5 wins, 5 straight wins in all comps, shows City are hitting the traps. I think they look pretty good and will take some stopping, and I think that will be a concern for Arsenal.
Why? Because I think mentally they've usurped them in the closing stages of a couple of title races in recent seasons, and that will be a worry. It's got to be, and it's a test of Arsenal now and their strength and performance, but also mental strength, I think, as well. The added element of the mental side of the game is what gave Canton reason to agree, because it has been City to pip the Gunners. Last season, injuries ravaged both Arsenal and City, and Liverpool sauntered to the title. No, I think you're spot on. I think this season is all mental, like in terms of just that element of the game for Arsenal. Because I think they have the quality to win the title. I think they've got the team to win the title, the depth to win the title, the manager to win the title. They've got all these things, but it's just, do they have that mettle? Do they have that composure? It showed there's obviously still some cracks and concerns in the game against Wolves, that composure, that response. And I think this Everton game, even though it's not the blockbuster fixture of the season, for me, that is the most important game of the season so far, that Everton game, because what Arsenal fans and what Arsenal players need to see is a response. World-class Arsenal star to sign record-breaking deal as next 3 contracts revealed by sources. Arsenal are gearing up to deliver a huge Christmas gift to their fans by announcing a mega new contract for Bukayo Saka, we can reveal. High-ranking Arsenal sources have confirmed to us that talks between sporting director Berta and Saka's camp have gone smoothly in December, and there is little left to finalize on his new long-term deal. We are told that an initial agreement with Saka is in place on a deal that will run to 2031. Things are going well, talks have gone smoothly, and it is understood that Saka is ready to sign. Saka's new deal will see him become the club's first £300,000-a-week player in their history. Berta has enjoyed an outstanding 2025 since joining the club in March, having worked very hard to tie down current squad members, including William Saliba, Gabriel, Ethan Nwaneri, and Miles Lewis-Skelly. Now, Saka is set to commit his long-term future to his boyhood club. Saka will not be the only senior squad member enjoying fresh terms heading into the new year. We can confirm that Berta is advancing in talks with defensive star Jurrien Timber, who is set to be rewarded for his outstanding form this season. There has been initial contact with the camps of Martin Odegaard and Declan Rice ahead of new deals in 2026. In November, Fabrizio Romano confirmed that Arsenal were getting closer to agreeing fresh terms with Saka, and we can confirm that Saka is now poised to sign. David Ornstein added that some of the biggest clubs in the world would pursue Saka if it emerged he might leave the Emirates, but potential suitors are aware that the 24-year-old is loving life at Arsenal and is not looking to leave. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe.